All right, it's being recorded. Awesome. Thank you, Ezekiel. Okay, if you're new to me, I'm Cathryn Paterson. Hello. This is Trade Secrets to Prepare for a Six-Figure Tech Career. Okay, so let's kind of do a little bit of a background here. You're probably just gotten some tech classes going, and I'm going to give you some background all about tech, all right, and how to get there. Okay, so let's give some background here. Let's go. All right, this is what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn about, I'm going to give you an introduction to me and how to get a job with no experience. What skills can you develop now, and some internship material. All right, so, okay, let's move along. All right, this is me. I have 20 years in software engineering. I'm not gonna go over this like crazy, all right? So I was a tech VP, and then I turned into a career coach this year. I kind of had a TikTok that blew up, and then got like 147,000 followers on TikTok, about 4,000 on YouTube, and I'm joking here, but maybe like 3 on Twitter. I don't even know. It's like not that much, but and working on Twitter, it's really hard. For about throughout the 20 years, it's been a real journey, and I love it. I got really, really good at interviews and giving them and also taking them. Because of my experience in government, because of my constant interactions with government contracts. And the most interesting part is the last 10 years, I had done everything from home. So my remote skills are really, really sharp. And that's the most probably unique thing about me, that I've led teams remotely. That's very, very challenging. All right, so, and what I do now is my specialized thing is disruptive career strategies. Disruption means that I kind of do things that go against the tide. I don't do things that other people do. What I teach is kind of goes against the norm, okay? So I've worked at Boeing, Northrop, Honeywell, L3, a lot of the big Fortune 500s. I've also worked at small companies, and I love startups. Those are my favorites. You're wearing multiple hats. It's the best thing ever, okay? You can find me at Cathryn. All right, that's my handle. Okay, here we go. Why are you here? I'll tell you why you're here. Because you're thinking, well, what am I here? What am I here? So you're here because you want to graduate. When you graduate, you want a job right away. You don't want to just be twiddling your thumbs. You're really, really wanting to start off quickly and hit the ground running. And that's amazing because you're hardworking. You're smart, you're thinking ahead. I like that. That's a good trait to have. I'm that way too. I really want to plan ahead. That's an excellent, quality to have. Or maybe you just want a job right now. That's okay too. I'm that way as well. You want to jump the gun. That's okay. So here we go. Now, this is the thing. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm giving you some facts. But this is the harsh reality because we live in COVID-19 era. All right. These are fresh statistics. 39% of the unemployed, this is September 2020 BLS report, okay? That's Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is the stat that all of the news talk about, the unemployment rate, okay? 39% of the unemployed take about 4 to 6.5 months or longer to find a job. This doesn't include people that currently have a job and they're looking for a new job. So the competition is a bit high. So now there's about 7.9% that are still unemployed. Used to be about 14% or so. It's down, but it's still high. There's 12.6 million people that are still unemployed. Again, that doesn't include people that are employed that are still looking for new jobs, right? So competition is very, very high. Your resume has to make an impact in 8.5 seconds about that, right? So when you're like starting off fresh, what do you even have on your resume that's going to make an impact? So how do you even do this? How are you going to stand out? Let's find out how we're going to do this. Okay, let's do this. That's a ladder study. These are all legit studies because I don't do anything that's not data driven. I make sure I do my homework. I do that for you guys. All right, here we go. So how do you get a job? Let's find out. How to get a job with no experience. Every job, you're gonna see, every job asks for experience. I don't know, even if it's entry level, it keeps asking for experience. I don't know if you've ever been on Indeed or LinkedIn Jobs or anything. Every single job seems to ask for experience. It's uncanny to me. Let's take a look. Here's an example. This is Google. Even their internships, they're gonna ask for experience. Experience in software development, coding, and general purpose, blah, 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 blah. They keep asking for experience. And you're sitting there going, why do they keep asking for experience when it's an entry-level job? And you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna get this experience. Okay, I've got a solution for you. It's an interesting one. Again, I'm really good at disruptive career strategies. I just like it, it's fun. Okay, get in through the back door. So what I mean by that is this, and this is really crazy, but there's reasons why. This is actually a very creative way to do this. I myself did it this way. You go in as a receptionist, administrative assistant, customer service, help desk, or sales, and you're gonna say, why the heck would I do this? This is crazy. I studied in tech, I got a degree in whatever, data science or something else. I'm not gonna do this. Why would I do this? This is crazy. This is actually strategic. Let me explain. Well, I put in a why are we doing this slide. Here we go. Number one, you need a job. That's number one. Numero uno, you're gonna need a job. Student loans, whatever it is you have to pay. And here are the other reasons. You have less competition. There might be some possible lateral transfers. Let me explain. When you go into let's say you're in college, it's like switching majors. So you could be in college for one degree or one major, and then you're perfectly allowed to switch majors, right? Same thing. If you want to work at a Fortune 500, why wouldn't you just go in there from the easiest, the easiest way to get in, right? Lowest barrier of entry, and then just switch jobs. That's strategic. Why would you go in through the main gate when you can go in the back gate, right? Strategic. Another one, you'll get the same access to paid training as everybody else. So what that means, you'll get certificates. You'll get free certificates. I teach that certificates give you value. You get high return on value with certificates, and I'm talking about those technical certificates that you may not know about. Those give you a lot of money, like the cloud computing certificates. Those things add more value to your resume than bachelor's, PhDs, masters, I guarantee you. And I'm telling you this from experience, and not just that, I did a top 10 BRIS certificates. I did the homework on it. If you go to Indeed and do reverse engineer it, if you type in like certain certificates, you'll see the value of them. There's more jobs and more 100K jobs for those certificates than you will ever see for bachelor's or whatever it is. Like I actually did analysis on it. You'll see like I did a YouTube and a TikTok on it. Same thing, they're only temporary, right? These admin assistant and customer service jobs, they're only temporary. You'll also improve your soft skills. In addition, you'll get excellent referrals, and I'll explain that one. When you're doing like a receptionist job, right? it's going to be the easiest work ever. Or if you're doing customer service, because you got trained to do like some tech, you got a technical degree, whatever it is. It's going to be easy to do customer service. It's going to be easy to do sales. So you're sitting there, you're going to have a lot of downtime. You might as well volunteer for other departments. And your boss, they're going to let you do that. So you volunteer for the other departments and you say, hey, can I volunteer in IT? Can I volunteer in software development? They're going to let you do that. And when you do, that manager in software and in IT, wherever you want to be in, or DevOps, they're going to love the crap out of you. And they will praise you so hard because they're going to have that entry level engineer who hasn't done anything, or the mid-level engineer that's been sitting on their, on their butt forever, who's getting a poor performance review. And here you are from customer service or the reception desk, and you're like working really hard and you volunteered. So you're going to get the best referral ever, the best recommendation. That's another one. And you're building relationships and you're networking at the same time. So that's another reason why going in through the back door is the best way to get this kind of, I couldn't recommend this more, to just go in as a reception, and reception is like the best one because you get to meet all of these people on a daily basis, or admin assistant. I know that sounds crazy, but this is a strategic approach to getting into, and it's the lesser known way, especially if you have tech skills. I mean, what technical person does this? None of them do that. They all want to do entry-level engineer, and it's crowded. I mean, this is like the most unique approach, but this is how strategic people do it. They're smart and they do this. No one else does this. So, because the only people that would ever go for like a reception job would be somebody that's not technical. So you would shine, you would get the job. Anyways, all right, let's move along. Okay, now, and remember, you're not going to be there forever. You will not be there forever. You'll only be there for a very, very short time. Now, how important are skills? Plus, you're developing, let me go back. So you're developing those soft skills right here, the soft skills. Soft skills are those behavior and psychological skills, okay? So how important are skills? Let's talk about skills. Very important, like super incredibly important. Technical skills, and there's a study on them. 83% of HR pros had difficulty finding qualified quality candidates in the past 12 months. This is from the Society of HR Management's 2019 Skills Gap Survey. That's a prestigious recruiting, it's a bunch of recruiters, okay? 83%. 75%, they blame it on skills shortage. That's like number one. So number one is skills. That's why I say skills over everything are important. Not to say to take away from degrees at all. Skills are so important. Those are the number one things, okay? So what skills are missing? What skills? Let's see. Here we go. Top 3 missing technical skills. Top 3. Data analysis, data science, science, engineering, medical. It's broad, I get it, but this is kind of from like a general approach. Talent gap is most visible in highly skilled STEM jobs. Okay, top 3 missing soft skills: problem solving, innovation, and then ability to deal with complexity and ambiguity, communication skills. So let's move along. How do you develop those skills? Here we go. I got some answers for you. Free, affordable online education. I mean, you could do them in person, but right now with COVID, it's probably not a good idea. So open source work, that'll give you that, the technical skills, the hard skills. Now for the soft skills, and you can get other technical skills through volunteer and internships, freelance work, and that sort, organizing events like this one, the DHAC. So Ezekiel and everybody else, they'll get really good, experience and skills from these events. Now, for education, the body language, the soft skills, body language, nonverbal cues class. I took something like this when I was in college. That was such a good class to develop soft skills. And this was something that was so good for marketing and, like a sales perspective. You can figure out if somebody is, let's say, lying to you, or they're being, they're any kind of emotional. You could kind of develop those high EQ, develop your high EQ skills, emotional quotient. That was such a good class. I took that at San Francisco State when I was in the dance department there. And I know that Deanne's has got to have that, something similar to that. So, or if you're in any college near you, any community college anywhere, they've got to have something similar to that. Nonverbal cues, and especially in a remote situation, you can develop understanding intonation. Like nonverbal is also like, you can hear it in intonation. That's what kept that communication strong verbally. So hearing it, right? College grammar is so different at that level, at the collegiate level. Grammar is very different. I took it in high school, and then taking it at the college level was so just mind-blowing to me. I couldn't recommend it enough. It helps with your, your professional writing skills, even for coding. I'm going to say that. I think college grammar is an excellent course for resume writing purposes and for college for so many reasons. You're going to be developing, you know what? Let me explain this to you. If you're in tech, do you know how much writing you're going to have to do? You have to develop software design documents. You're going to have to develop test documents, you'll have test cases, whatever it is. You'll have to develop so much, you're going to have to do so much writing. It's unbelievable. I would highly recommend that you take college grammar. That's going to help you so much. I know that they'll have technical writing classes too and everything, but college grammar is going to really help you for everything else. And critical thinking classes. We talked about this. There was a lot of critical thinking skills that were lacking. That's how you develop those skills, with the critical thinking, problem solving. It's very different than what you've been taking before. That's going to really focus on just those skill sets, so you can really exercise and flex that muscle in your brain. So they're going to run you through just critical thinking. Oh, I just thought of something else that I forgot on there. But debate, college debate, argumentation, that's something else that will be really helpful for you too. I loved taking college debate. It was really, I really loved argumentation. It's not what you think. It's not like arguing for arguing's sake. They help you with critical thinking. It's more critical thinking. All right, so let's move on. And a lot of this stuff, you don't need to, some of it can be quite affordable. Okay, here we go. Okay, now what about internships? Let's talk about internships. Okay, I have a ton on my site, and everything's always free. I do not charge anything on my site. It's iCathryn.com. And I go through, I'm pointing this out because internships are tough. They're really tough to talk about. So I did a whole article on it. I mean, it's a really long article. So I just wanted to quickly run this through you. You go to my site, click, tips, you go to tips, and then more, and then it's under internships, And it's this article right here, okay? I'm getting a scam call. Okay, and then, oh, whoopsie, let me go back to this. Okay, so this whole article here, I am talking about nothing but government internships, because that's my background, is pure government internships. But all of it is mostly like unpaid internships. I couldn't stress it enough. Part of it is when you do unpaid, oftentimes you can find, other people always say, well, what about paid? Well, that actually is a strong side that you definitely can find a lot of paid internships. And I do, here, actually, let me go to the next one. I do have that on my site as well. There's paid internships in the Jobs for You page right here. No experience necessary, paid internships. You'll find that as well. These are all on my Jobs for You page. These are all search links. They're just links that go straight to Indeed. They're not, I don't do anything else. I call myself a job librarian, basically. I've curated lists for people. These are just basically keywords. That's it, nothing else. I think what's happened nowadays is that it's very hard to find things anymore. So I've just done keyword searches for people so that they can find things. For example, like a lot of people don't even know about technical writer jobs, that they exist at all. They don't even know that there's felony friendly jobs, which, I was actually kind of surprised that these existed, that people publish this on Indeed. That's a thing. They exist. There's project scheduler jobs. People don't even know that those exist. So I kind of expose people to things that are available on Indeed. Same thing with mid-level and junior software jobs, senior software jobs. Those things exist. There's a lot of things out there that people don't realize. There's also, like, you can search for jobs at a salary level, pure salary, that have nothing to do with the occupation. I put those on there as well. Same thing with clearance. You can search for jobs down here in the for government and military experience. I did it by certification as well. If you've gotten your certification, and some of these are free or almost free, like $100 for the training, and then the certification exam would be free, the training would be free, and the exam would be like $100. Some of those, I put them on here as well. So you could look for the job, and I mean, the job would be quite lucrative. So in tech, especially, one of the best things about tech is that you don't necessarily have to be formally trained, meaning you don't really need a degree, although it's very helpful. I think the best case scenario for anyone is to have a formal degree, a baccalaureate, and then add to that certification. Oh, that's the 1-2 punch. And you could just make so much money. Because I have both. I do have formal education, and I have certifications like crazy. I have my PMP, I have my Scrum Master cert, I have my ITIL, I have Scaled Agile Framework. I have so many things in my background, and I have my bachelor's, and I was halfway through my master's. I have so many things going on, and I still get a lot of calls, from recruiters left and right. And yet, I don't miss any of it, but because I love what I do now. But this is really what it's about right here. This is all these certifications. That's the key for you guys in tech. Certs are so valuable. If you can collect as many certs, this is my best tip. It's like, I'm all about the certs in tech, in anything, actually. It's skills, certs. Degree is great. It's awesome. It's really good. But I would say really focus on your skills development and certifications. That's super essential. Okay. So with internships, there is no real best internship. There's no such thing. They're all kind of, equally, they all stand on the same footing. I'd say there's no great, there's no best company. They've all got their pluses and minuses. I think for me, I prefer smaller companies, but that's just because I've been through a lot. I think the larger companies have their pluses as well. There's like benefits to them, like the name brand recognition, they have tools that you can learn from. You know, by and large, in my opinion, there's more growth at smaller companies. At bigger companies, there's less growth because there's only there's only so far you can go, you know, because once you're in, the growth is not there. So anyways, all right, here we go. Oh, I'm already done. Okay, so any questions? It was like really fast I was going through because I wanted to do more Q&A, to be honest. I kind of wanted to do a lot more Q&A on this one. So let's see. Let me, do you guys have any questions at this point?
I have a question.
Sure.
So I heard this, and I know a lot of friends of mine believe this.
Yes.
They believe that going to certain colleges makes it more difficult to access internships. So people believe that if you go like to a UC school, it's pretty easy to get internships, and if you come from like community college, it's harder
Yes.
to get internships, or at least get like your foot in the door to get interviewed or something.
Oh, no, not at all. I can show you guys right now. We can just, because I love doing just live, everything live. Um, in actuality, internships have nothing, they don't care where you, it's like a regular job, you know? Uh, it really doesn't matter where you went. Just like anything, let me share my screen really quickly here. I'll show you guys. I think that there's a lot of misconception about, you know, here, let me show you like internship. Like schools, you know, really, does it matter if you went to Harvard or if you went to, you know, I don't know, like Iowa State? I don't think so. I've looked at, when I was at Boeing, when I was at Northrop, when I was at anywhere, I never really cared I didn't even pay attention to the education. And I'm going to share something else with you. Remember that stat? Do you recall that 8.5 seconds that recruiters on average take a look at the resume? That's a really quick 8.5 seconds. They barely have time to look at your education. The first thing they're going to look at are your skills. And that's all they really care about. Do they do a compliance check of your skills? Are you going to meet the required skills for that job? And that same like check goes for the internship as well, because the internship is a job, just like with anything. So here's Mitsubishi. MUFG is Mitsubishi. Let's take a look at Mitsubishi, right? So if we look at Mitsubishi, right? Let's see what they're asking for in their requirements. And it's, oh, there's that rising senior. I keep seeing this word everywhere. Okay, so I mean, they're looking at, you know, GPA, okay, academic standing. You know, they really don't care about schools. I genuinely don't think they care about schools. And that's but that's a great question though. It is a great question because a lot of people think that they have to, you know, go to a great school, or they have to go to work at a really great company to go somewhere. You know, I mean, who am I to say? I went to a Fortune 500. I think part of my reasons, I just lucked into it, but it was great for me, exposure for me, because I learned a lot of, you know, different process that I would have never otherwise learned. I learned different tools, huge tools that I never would have been exposed to. So I was very fortunate. So that was a good thing. But yeah, I don't think so. Like here's, we can keep looking, Mitsubishi's at the top, but here's Hill's Pet Nutrition, you know, that's Science Diet, I think. And if you look at them, you know, I really don't think so. I think they want you to kind of be in a school, minimum GPA, 10 to 20 hours, no big deal, competency. They want you to have, like, they just want skills. And I know this also because I used to do technical recruiting as well when I was really young, back in the dot-com boom age. And yeah, we would just scan for skills. I would do job fairs. We just look straight up skills. Boom, 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 done. Move on, next, done, next. Schools were the last thing. If anything, they're gonna see if you even have like, if you're in school, not what school. Okay, next question. Anybody else? That was a really good question. Oh, here's HBO. That's cool. This is a good question. And this is that study with the skills shortage.
Hi, I have a question.
Sure.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you give us some of your opinions about boot camp and certificates, and like in school, like you already say something about school and certificates, but how about the boot camp?
Oh, boot camps. Boot camps are pretty good. Some of them are quite expensive. I went to one for my PMP, my project management professional certificate. It was a week long. I had my company pay for it. They can be really pricey. I would, like I said, if you're going to go in as in general, I would just make your company pay for it. They can be so expensive. If you can't afford it, go for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Do a lot of research when you do that. There's a lot of community colleges that do offer it, like Maricopa. I've noticed that a lot of community colleges are now offering boot camps. Maricopa Community College is doing that. Walla Walla is starting. They have a pretty decent community boot camp program. That I would start with that first, like community colleges. Yeah, there's some value to boot camps because they're very fast, but the problem with that is that with anything, I don't know if you've heard of this, the quadrant: quality, cost, risk, schedule. If you ever want something fast, it's going to cost a lot. If you want something, you can't have all four, basically: quality, cost, schedule, risk. And you're going to risk, the risk is high for any of those, right? So anytime you want anything, super fast, it's going to cost a lot. The quality might go down, whatever it is. So that's the benefit of boot camps. It's that they're going to be very fast and accelerated. Like I have Matt, my buddy Matt, he's going to be doing a class tomorrow. He's a developer that just started. Oh, yeah.
Right after you, Cathryn.
Oh, he's coming right after me? Oh, I thought it was tomorrow. Okay, so he's right after me. But yeah, he's actually just started as an engineer, and about like a few years ago. And so he's currently doing a engineer interview, like a coding interview boot camp, like a very intense interview boot camp right now. And it's very, very expensive. It's one of those interview boot camps where you're going to be able to get into one of those big fangs. Very fascinating. So and the way he became an engineer, because I think he has his degree in civil engineering, and the way he became a software engineer was through a boot camp, a really expensive one that made him study 80 hours a week. I mean, it was intense. And I think he did that for, what was it, like 3 months or something like that? I'm not even sure. It was intense. So you guys might want to ask him about that. But yeah, it was very aggressive, but it was very costly. I'm talking like very expensive. So boot camps can be very, very pricey. But I don't have suggestions for that. It's one of those things where you have to really do a lot of homework, because some of them, they can be, I can't recommend any of them because I'd have to do so much homework. I'm one of those people that I don't endorse things unless I have to put so much homework. Like, look at what I did for, I'll show you this really quickly. When I did my homework for the certifications, I'll show you this. This is the kind of homework I do, the analysis that I do. For the certifications, what I did here, let me see here. Here we go. So for this guy right here, let's go. This is the video, that's the YouTube link. But for the certifications, what I did, I went through rigorous analysis. Because I noticed that a lot of people like Coursera, they have things, Udemy and everything, but my big thing with them was that they don't even list their own certificates on their site, on their job listings. Like this is an example, like Coursera had an IS engineer job listing, but nowhere in their requirements, they don't even list their own certificates for their job listings. And I was like, well, I don't think that they're a bad, company. I don't do that. I don't talk negative, but I think that they need to start on home turf when they, push their own certifications, they have to like endorse their own certificates. That's the one thing, like, it's like you have to, drink your own Kool-Aid, that's my big problem with this one. So that's why I said to people, you can't this is IT desk support. Like, I don't see, I don't see the course. I didn't see the certificates. So this is what I did. I went to Indeed for AWS, for Azure, for Salesforce certs, for Agile certs, Scrum Master, all of these, the CISP cert. I took the number of jobs on a certain date, and then I did a search for how many jobs were asking for that certification. Then I took a percentage of how many of those paid 100,000 or more. And then I figured out how expensive was that training, and then how much was that exam fee. And these are links to the training. And from that, I determined, and do you want to see how many I researched? Like, it was actually closer to 40, 42. I took off some of them. It was just too much. But I researched so many certifications, and I did a very rigorous study because I wanted to make sure, because I didn't see the study anywhere. When people do certification studies, they were just saying, oh, average salary, you're going to get maybe 100,000, and this one pays you maybe 200. I don't know what it is, but that doesn't tell you if you're going to get a job for that certification. That to me is the question that I would want answered to get that certification. So I had to do my own study. So that's why for the boot camp, my question would be, would I get a job if I took that boot camp? Would I get a job? And a lot of those boot camps, they have their own statistic. They'll say, oh, I got a job after, this many people got that job after they took that boot camp. But that's not reliable in my opinion, because they're just promoting their own statistic. There's no independent, source. So it's hard for me to do something like that. I can't recommend a boot camp because I haven't done it. I haven't, I don't have a study. So that's why it's hard for me to, oh yeah, that's a boot camp that I can trust, but I can definitely say these are the top 10 best certificate. I could definitely say that. I could say that. So yeah, long answer. But thank you for that question. That's a good question.
Thank you. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for your sharing of your like horror research. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah. I've tried to put a lot of, I mean, it's my engine. I was in engineering for like 20 years, so it's hard not to do things like this. It's very hard, but I'm trying my best to kind of make everything very analytical for people. I'm bringing this to career coaching, this kind of rigorous research. I try to attack it in this way and very strategic. So that make people think and put that higher order thinking using those skills. Something else for you guys, when you're looking at jobs, for example, on Indeed, all these jobs, all of these like internships, anything, if you're not 100% qualified, you should still apply. If you're 50% qualified, apply. You have to apply. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you a quick story. My girlfriend, she's a clinical care director at one of the bigger healthcare companies. And she actually hired a recent grad who had 10 years of experience as a customer service manager at Foot Action. She hired that person because they had a clinical care degree, right? And she hired that person because they had customer service experience. And I asked her, I go, why did you hire that person? All her friends were like, why'd you hire this person? They have customer service. She hired them because she was failing on her metric for customer service. And she wanted somebody that had strong customer service skills. Because here's the thing, the value of soft skills. She cannot teach soft skills like easily. And it takes too much time to teach somebody leadership skills. Leadership skills are, and I can vouch for that. I have a tough time teaching leadership skills to people who are strong in technical skills. It's easy to teach somebody, hey, click this button, do this, teach them how to work a software. It's so easy. It's harder to teach somebody communication skills, management skills. That is much harder. If you have developed those skills already, you are far ahead of the game. That's why when I say to you, those others, remember, skills, those are important things to develop right now. If you can develop those skills right now and demonstrate them right now, you're so far ahead of the curve. So that's another one. Apply for jobs that you're even 50% qualified for. You're going to be so far ahead of the game. Remember the statistics I told you about earlier with all of those, all these, where did it go? Hold on. The HR statistics, all those people, that's a lot of people that are unemployed. Remember how we talked about this? Let me go over there. Oh yeah, here we go. All these people, it's a lot of people. Look at how long it takes to get a job. After you graduate, can you go this long without a job? And that's only the unemployed people. This is not including the people that have a job and that are looking for a job, that are competing with you. So you're competing with so many people to get a job. This is a lot. So I'm not trying to freak you out. I'm just saying you have to take it very seriously when you're looking for a job. Start now. Get those skills. Develop them right now.
Hey, Catherine, there's a
Yes.
question in the chat. Can you go over it?
Oh, in the chat. Where's the chat? Sorry, I cannot see.
Can you see it?
Nope. Hold on a second. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry. Okay. Do you think that international students have less intern opportunities than native students? Oh, I see. Okay. International students, less, you know what? I don't even want to guess at that. Let's find out. What about international internship? Let's take a look. Let's see. There's 3,753. Maybe some of them are applicable, maybe some of them aren't. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, wait, you know what they call those? Let's see, F1 visas. F1, right? Visa, internship, I think it says, right? F1 visa?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's F1 visa. Yeah. So I don't think so. Here's something else I found in one of the studies. They were in one of the HR, stats. They were talking about what was it? They're trying to push out more F1 visas because they're not finding talent internally, domestically. So that's another thing too. They are trying to push out more F1 visas too, for working visas as well. So I don't see that as being a problem. So, well, this one, I probably did the keyword search wrong, but I don't think that would be a problem. It's all about searching. You have to get really good at searching. It's just about keyword searching. Do jobs look at your medical records, or what would they look for if they do a background check? Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, do jobs look at your medical records? No, that would be illegal. But what would they look at? Okay, so if they do a background check, what they're going to look at is they're going to do they're going to check your references. So they'll do that. They'll do a criminal background check. So make sure that you don't have any like felonies, things of that nature. And I think that's pretty much the gist of it. If you're going to get a security clearance, like I had before, then they're probably going to do more of the, do you have, they'll go through all of your personal history. Do you like criminal? They'll do a credit check. They'll do some really rigorous, they'll do way more to you, credit background check, and they'll do like call up all of your personal references. And I'm repeating myself, gosh, but they'll do way more than your normal background check if they do a clearance. So, but as far as like medical, no. And honestly, I get this a lot with the medical stuff. I would never be worried about medical. The disability question is an interesting one. That's for diversity. Whenever you see like, do you have a disability? If you do, don't worry about that. I would just check it yes if you do, because that doesn't mean that they're not going to hire you. It's the opposite. They will hire you if you do have a disability, because they want diversity hires. A lot of people don't know that. That's actually something that they want to do, because especially in a big company, they really want to look diverse, because if they have mostly, and I'm going to say this, white male employees, they're going to look bad. And that looks like a PR nightmare for them. They want diverse employees. Like they want, like I'm going to say this, disabled employees. They do want that. It sounds crazy, but that's what they want. They want minorities. They want, more genders. They want all of it. That's just the way it is. It sounds crazy, but it's equal opportunity employment. It's a PR thing. So, okay. Would recruiters prefer projects or certificates while screening resumes? If you're brand new, if you're starting out, they would prefer, I'm going to say they would prefer certificates, but I think having a mixture would be good, but having more certs would be excellent. And it's the right kind of certs. And the, like I said to you, that top 10 certs, like the right kind, especially for what you're doing. And especially if they require it. Like, for example, like if you're going into cybersecurity, right? You're going to be a cybersecurity engineer. Like one of the best things you could have is probably a CompTIA certificate, a CompTIA A+. If you have a CompTIA A+ certificate, That's going to be really good. They're going to like that. You'll probably be at the top of the list if you have that certificate to get your foot in the door, right? So as opposed to somebody else, it's just a given. Certs, skills, certs. I mean, this is really high. And I mean, I always look at that. From my perspective, I get a lot of text messages, even or calls from recruiters. Even a couple weeks ago, I got a call because of my PMP certificate. I got a text message from a recruiter asking me if I wanted to get a PMP certified project manager job in Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. In Qatar. That's in the Middle East. You know what that would have meant? A lot of money, because I'd be living in Qatar in the Middle East. So an overseas job would have meant big bucks. Now, I would never do that, but you know. Okay, on average, how long does it take to prepare and get a certification? Every certification is different. The Scrum Master cert is just a weekend, and the test is, at the time, for me, it was very, very easy. You know, you take it right away. It was the easiest test I've ever taken. The PMP was the hardest. Because it's not logic-based, it's memorization. It brings the most value though, because it's the hardest. It's massive memorization. You have to memorize a 600-page book. The PMBOK, the Project Management Book of Knowledge, is ridiculous. You have to memorize it. I took the boot camp and then I took a week off to, I'll be honest, I failed the first time because I took it for granted. I thought, hey, I'm Asian, I'm good at tests, I'll just wing it. Nope, you can't wing a memorization test. You just can't. So that was my naivete. I did not think it. I was working, and then I just took the test. It's like, that was a waste of my time. So you get one chance to, redo it. So I took it the week off and then I passed the second time. So that was, it was just such a big mistake. Don't do that. Definitely study. 1 and 2, the fail rate is 50%. It is that hard. You have to memorize. So the preparation for every certification is very different. Like a certified ethical hacker, that would vary. Every cert is very different. So, but I hear the PMP by and large in the industry is the hardest. So just because it's pure memorization, which to me, the value of something like that, it's like monkey memorization. It's the lowest form of intellect, right? So, ay caramba. All right, so let's see. Let me show you some of these things on my site with the, and any other questions, just keep them coming while I show you some of these. I have job fairs on here as well, online job fairs, which you get hired right away. It's like same day interviews, okay? And you can go click right here, and they're Indeed job fairs. And so like L3 Harris, oh, I forgot they changed their names. So you click right there, and then it'll be instant, you could get right into their, oh, there you go. Yeah, you could reserve and go right into their virtual, so you could get the, oops, sorry. You get RSVP, and it's really neat. Their online job fairs on Indeed, entry-level management virtual hiring event, all this stuff. It's really good. L3 Harris is a very big, if you've never heard of them, I worked for them before too. They're a very big government contractor like Boeing. And so they're really big. That's another one. Career fairs, these ones, what they do is they interview you and they pretty much give you a job offer right on the spot. that's one of the things that I kind of like about this kind of, you know, online job fairs are very fast. And lots of tips on my site. Everything is always free. I do this because I after the unemployment crisis, I just genuinely loved it. It was just so important to me. Let me go back to the tips here. So for you guys, for students, I have lots and lots of, you could just go to the recent grads. It has current students, and you know, this is the Big Fang tips. Anything for Amazon is a Big Fang tip. Everything you need to know about Big Fang is going to be here. You want to get into big companies, this is going to be there. It's going to be in there. And then certifications right here. Let's see. So, oh, this is interesting. I talk about tech, and this is about like, this is really interesting. I have a very interesting theory about this. So did you guys see the Stack Overflow developer survey? This is fascinating. I don't know if you saw this. Let me see if there's the anything here. Okay, so I'll keep this up. So the Stack Overflow developer survey, I found it very fascinating. These are the language clusters that are very popular with the developers, right? And this is from, I think this was the 2019 or so, or 2020, I'm not sure. 2020, yeah, I marked it up. So these are kind of like the clusters of that, you know, people are learning, the new developers are learning. And I find it fascinating because here's the thing. The new languages, if you Google this, if you go to Indeed and you plug in any of these languages, there's so many jobs for these you know, languages, right? For the most part. Now, here's the irony. It's so saturated, just like with majors, right? And this is the strategy that I'm teaching you guys. It's so saturated, they don't pay as much as you think. Like Java jobs, they don't pay as much as you think. The things that pay more, old is gold. The things that pay more are going to be these languages because nobody's learning them. The old or obscure tech, assembly, AS400, COBOL, DB2, Delphi, Erlang, Fortran, no one is learning them. So if you plug in these, they pay way more on Indeed. You want to make a lot of money? Learn these languages. In addition to learning the new languages, and then you're making a ton of money, like a ton. That's what I was talking, like I put examples of those jobs right here. Like this, like here, like a ton of money. Like it's ridiculous. This article is really good that I did. So, and I talk about, this is what you do. You get entry-level jobs and do this. And then, I mean, you could just pretty much retire after 8 years. Like, it's like, I've kind of like oversimplified it, but I'm just giving you an example, like, you know, of some old languages that I've reverse looked up and put it on Indeed. So anyways, questions. We're just about to wrap up, but like, I kind of went through this, like powered through everything. I'm going on TikTok speed. I just went boom, boom, boom and tried to knock everything out.
Hi, yeah, I got a question.
Sure.
So I'm new to all this, and
Yes.
and you said that like certifications are key. So I'm trying to get into software engineering, and
Yes.
right now learning C++. So are there
Awesome.
any like certifications that's good for like future like software engineering career that I can start now?
Some certs, yeah, they're on the top 10 best. I think the AWS certs are always good. Cloud computing is always good. Those are really good certs. And the Scrum Master certs are really good. So the top 10 list, like I had over here, let me go back to that. The top 10 best certs. Actually, let me go to this. Hold on a second. Let's go real quick. And we're running out of time, actually. We're going to run out of time here. I think Ezekiel, right? Sorry. So let's go. Let's see.
Okay, whoever wants to ask more questions can stay here because the next workshop will be on another link. So it's totally fine for you guys to just hang out here and ask more
Oh,
questions. Yep, it's totally fine.
okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, right on. Okay. So the certs are here. The AWS and the Azure and Salesforce. Salesforce is shockingly really, really good. Actually, you know what? This is like a really good one because you could be in a non-technical. Um, this, and I verified this on Indeed. It is so good. You could make so much money in with a Salesforce certification because they don't charge for their training, and you can make you know, like wait, let me show you this thing. It's just so good. You, as a business analyst, even you can make like 100 and you know, like a 40,000 or whatever it is. They make so much money, and I show it to you. Like if I go Salesforce, like let's see, business analyst, for example, right here, right? We'll go like this, and let's see, like, you know, I mean, that's excellent. I mean, look at this, you know, that's 160,000, you know. Any of these Salesforce, like administrator, it's Salesforce is actually a customer relationship management tool. And that's not good. I don't know what they're thinking. They make a lot more than that. So they make a lot more. They're normally very, very, very high. So the let me see if they have the where's the career paths? Where did they have the average salary? I think it was somewhere. Architect, developer. This must be old. There was one that had more of the 150 or something. Let's see, there it is. So, oh, this looks very old. They updated this. There was a new one that had 120 or something like that. But anyways, Salesforce is really, really good. They make a lot of money. Any kind of Salesforce career path, they make really good money, especially as of late. They've made a lot more money. So it's really, really good. There's a different, because the salary changes when you're in a different view. I can't remember where I was where I saw this, but anyhow, Salesforce is really good. And then the AWS, that's Amazon Web Services, that's cloud computing, especially with the number of jobs, you make a lot of money in this one as well. And I always talk about money, and I know it's not always about money, but I tell you what, that's the basic level, in my opinion. The conversation always starts at money for me, and then after that, it's the environment is very important. But the conversation has to start with money, because, you know, that pays the bills, that does everything. You know, you're not going to be in a good mood if you're not valued. So when you're doing work, you have to be valued. So, and that was always important for me as well. Azure is another cloud computing tool platform, Microsoft Azure. Any Microsoft certification is very good. And if you click on any of these, they will populate the certification. So here's Amazon Web Services, here's Microsoft. So any of these certifications are really good. And they have the training on their site as well. I usually try to point directly to the cert training, or the, instead of going to a different, you know, third party, not really, because they usually charge more. I don't like doing that because, you know, why? You could save more money this way. So this is where these other courses are more expensive. The Agile Scrum Master, they're a lot more expensive. But the one thing with these is those certifications, the jobs pay a bit more too, because they're more management jobs. So same thing with the PMP. They're in management, so you're gonna pay more. Plus, look at the number of jobs. There's a lot more jobs. So the likelihood of you being able to get a job is gonna be higher. So, because look at this, Salesforce administrator. You only have 476 jobs. So the competition level is gonna be a little higher. Now, here's the other thing though. Not that many people know about Salesforce administrator. So there's a give and take, right? So even though there's less jobs, not a lot of people know about that job compared to the rest of, like the whole entire world, right? Most people don't really know that job, that specific job, when you talk about the entire job market. Okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. So here are the other certs that I have on here. There's like quite a bit. I went through a lot of them. So tried and true Microsoft certs they're like super well known. The MCSE they're changing the name of it, but I don't know what they're going to call it now. But the Microsoft certifications overall are they never lose their value. They're really, really good. A lot of the other ones have kind of come and gone, but Microsoft has always stayed. As far as tech goes, they hold their value really well. So those are really good. These ones below, they're more, this is sales, this is HR. Six Sigma is more quality, quality, I think. So I would classify that more quality. This is again HR, and any of the security, like the cybersecurity certifications, Scrum Master is more project management, tech. SAP is it's more of the tool, and then this is sales again, Sandler. So, anyways. All right, so I want to just wrap it up. If you guys have any other questions, the big takeaway here, if you're in school, stay the course. When you graduate, you'll be able to get a job in no time if you just develop your skills now, and then get your resume to the point where you've got all these skills developed, and then you have even if you don't have those jobs or whatever it is developed or whatever, all that, it's okay. You can still get there. My advice to you is to, at least, the least thing you could do, the minimum, is make sure that your resume is ATS friendly, applicant tracking system friendly, recruiter software friendly. So, and I have a whole article on that on my site right here on, just go to my site here and I'll walk you through this. It's right, just go to resume tips, it's in there. So make sure it's ATS friendly right there. You have to get it past the recruiting software. 70% of resumes get rejected right off the bat. So you have to first at least do that. And then, because you will never get a job, you're never going to get a call back. You're never going to get an interview. You won't even get anywhere, first off. And you're going to sit there and wonder, why is my resume, what's wrong with me? Is it me? I get so many people that ask me that. And I go, have you done this? Just do that. The second thing is, you got to quantify your resume, do that. Your resume should have value on it. Put some value. And searching for jobs, there's interesting ways and techniques to search for a job. I offer that too. It's not normal like techniques. I offer different ways to look at things, things that most people don't think about. The way I approach anything is very, I take a very different approach than most people. And because I've been doing this for a while, and I've had creative ways, and I take a lot of liberties. So, and I share this on my TikToks and on my YouTubes, and it's been quite interesting because having a lot of this technical and business, marketing, sales, all this experience wrapped up in one, and I didn't notice. All of a sudden, I was like, "Wow, I guess I am an expert." I didn't realize it until COVID hit, and I'm sharing my knowledge. Every Wednesday, I have a TikTok live around 8 p.m. Pacific, and I love it. I get to share my knowledge with everyone, and it's absolutely fulfilling to me. A hairstylist recently got a job at Google using the tips that I have on my site, and she's a Portuguese translator for Google. There are people I know seasoned professionals that can't get into Google. And she's a hairstylist, 35 years, and she's now at Google. That's tremendous. And if she can do it, I'm pretty sure anybody else can. So I'm pretty sure you guys can get into Google. If she can get in, I'm pretty sure you guys can get in. So that's all I got to say about that. So anyways, if you want more, a lot of this stuff, you could go to my site. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. You could just Google me too. I'm pretty much everywhere. It's Cathryn. That's it. A little esoteric, I know, but it's pretty funny. I just really liked iCarly when I was growing up. So that's about it. So if you've got no other questions, I'll say thank you for having me. I love talking to students. I love talking about careers. It's so much fun. I like seeing people succeed in life. It's my passion now. I just love it. It makes me so happy to hear about people finding work and putting food on the table, keeping the lights on. It brings so much joy to me. Anyways, so you have no more questions. I'm going to take off now, and keep in touch with me. Stay connected with me. Hit me up, and I'd love to hear from you. I can't wait. Yeah, I really appreciate this so much. Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I love doing this. So stay in touch. Oh, and make sure you get this. This is a great book about I don't get any payment from this at all. I'm just letting you guys know. This book, Who Moved My Cheese? Amazing book about change. I love this book. This was it was really good. And Stephen Covey is so good. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Read that book. You will love it. Those 2 books made such an impact in my life. I think you will really like those 2 books. One's about change. One is about highly effective people. You'll like both of them. All right. Have a very good day. Have a good Saturday. Enjoy. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. See you guys.